Kofi Annan Sensemakers 2021 was announced. Zainouddin Stephen Ankang is from India, age 29. She works with indigenous farmers of the Tangkhul Naga tribe in Manipur, India. The tribe faced unemployment with minimal to no food security. She aims to spread the delicious food custom to the tribe worldwide, preserve the indigenous product, and give back power to the indigenous farmer in the process. On her winning the award, she spoke.
I'm honored to be selected for the Kofi Annan Changemaker 2021. Our vision for the indigenous farmers playing a huge role in the food security and transforming our community is something we deeply care about, and this voice is amplified. If our indigenous farmers can feed our own community throughout the year, we will have more nutrition and better economy. This is what we are working for. Let's share our food custom to the world. Let's preserve our indigenous producers. This gives back power to the indigenous farmers and people in the process. I'm honored to be selected for the Kofi Annan Changemaker 2021. Our vision for the indigenous farmers playing a huge role in the food security and transforming our community is something we deeply care about, and this voice is amplified. If our indigenous farmers can feed our own community throughout the year, we will have more nutrition and better economy. This is what we are working for. Let's share our food custom to the world. Let's preserve our indigenous producers. This gives back power to the indigenous farmers and people in the process.
Her speech on emergence of hill wild industry.
Hi, good evening, everyone, or good afternoon. Uh, I just want to ask among us if anyone have heard like where Manipur is from. Oh, lovely. I was, trying to tell about Manipur, how lush landscape it is, but glad that some people knew about Manipur. Uh, okay, sure, I will. Before I go on about the storytelling, of course, about how chocolate business came into being, I would like to first introduce myself as Zainouddin Stephen Ankang, and a little bit about myself and also the childhood that I come from. I was born and brought up in a very rustic small town, and then life was very quiet there. The childhood is laid back, like so much fun we had. And we enjoyed all the seasonal fruits that the season had to offer. And life was like that. Then, ever since I was young, I was reading books beyond my childhood class syllabus. I was always interested on the curricular side. And life, of course, life went like that. And initially as a childhood, what struck me the most important thing and the curiosity was that I loved making my own things. Ever since I was young, when we go to school, I was brought up in a Catholic convent school. We had our black shoe and even the shoe polish, even soap, candles, you name it. I was making on my own. So that was some passion I developed from an early age. And one thing that influenced me was my mother. She had a philosophy of living that eat only what you grow. So of course, being in a very rural place and having a kitchen garden, it was abundance for us to actually eat what we grow. So grew up like that, studied till my 12th standard in the town and left for Pune and later Delhi, and now I'm back to my hometown. So the journey has been quite exhausting also and quite a learning journey for me. So the story of Hill Wild now enters, how Hill Wild started. I run a company called Hill Wild together with my business partner, now my fiance. And how it started was that, I was working in Delhi for a couple of years. I was working in an export house and enjoyed the work though, but, something always called me that, I'm an entrepreneur by nature, in spirit, and I needed to go home. And there was a time that I really had to introspect myself, what I really want to do. And of course, having my own business was really something I've always, imagined at the back of my mind. Even though while I was studying back into university, back for my post management studies, I've always done some business or the other as a side income or to sustain myself in the cities. So it was like that, and of course, I started re-identifying myself, what I really want, what I want to do, what connects me, and then I realized a lot of things that, I knew I was going to enter and I wanted to do food business or in the food sector. So it came down to the point that we have to zone down what we really want to do. Then the problem, or I should say that I observed something, is that Northeast as a whole is filled with amazing flora and fauna. Like if you see, or if you just imagine Northeast, it's like a lush landscape, exotic place. That just hits your mind. But I studied about some of the brands that comes up from Northeast, and hardly could figure out some brands that really depicts the presence or essence of Northeast. So we thought there are so many products available in Northeast, but maybe it doesn't suit the different parts of India palette. Maybe it's too different. So how can we, bridge this gap? How can we make this certain food acceptable pan-India or even to the global palette? So then we zoned down to the idea of chocolate, because chocolate is accepted by all, is loved by all. So it's a basic idea about infusing what is found in the local products, in the hills. For example, have you heard of wild apple? Like there are plenty of wild apple in my hometown. So we started making candies out of wild apples and infusing chocolate. Again, have you heard of king chili chocolate? Like the hottest chili in the world. So those things we started infusing in the chocolate. And again, certain nutty seeds which you might be new, like sesame seeds, a version of it is the perilla seeds. We call it the Asian sesame seeds also. So things like that, these are abundant, So we started infusing in these chocolates. Then, of course, the name Hill Wild also came from the inspiration of wild products from the hills.